Sebastian Flyte, Lord of the Drink. Drink to this, I've absolutely got to drink champagne tonight, he states like a petulant child. How do you solve a problem like Sebastian? He says his farewells and heads to a leper colony in northern Africa. Rachel drinks and rhymes. Divorced and unemployed, can you really blame Rachel from the girl on the train for spending her days drinking to the point of blackout and taking the train to go by her ex's house? What could possibly go wrong? And Sanderson wants all the drinks. Leaving Las Vegas, both the novel and the movie can turn just about anyone off to drinking. A story of a writer who goes to Vegas to drink himself to death is basically the opposite of the frivolity Nick and Nora Charles have with the bottle. Sadly, shortly before the film went into production, author John O'Brien committed suicide. Drink to this, if he drinks $100 a day, and he's got 100 days to drink. It's just an arithmetic operation, simple logic. Stephen Selfox, we all know one. Another outstanding British degenerate, Stephen Selfox, is a great douche. He's the kind of arrogant guy you want to see get pulled over by the cops. Still, it might be fun to spend a night partying with the anti-hero of John Niven's hilarious Kill Your Friends as he gallivants around the world as a music industry and our man in the 80s. Drink to this, refreshed by repeated hops to the bathroom, I begin double fisting red wine and scotch as well as popping back stinging tequila shots whenever I frequently swing by the bar to smoke another cigarette. Mary Hick, Life of Falstaff. When it comes to drunks in literature, it's hard to beat Falstaff. Shakespeare's loutish, Tubby Knight was quite the troublemaker. He was also a huge hit with audiences, so much so that he appears in 3 of the Bard's plays, Henry Roman IV, Henry V, and The Merry Wives of Windsor. He is frequently found imbibing at his local watering hole, the Boar's Head Inn, with other shady characters who are up to no good. Drink to this, a good sherris sack hath a twofold operation in it. It ascends me into the brain, dries me there all the foolish and dull and cruddy vapors which environ it, makes it apprehensive, quick, forgetive, full of nimble, fiery and delectable shapes, which delivered or to the voice, tongue which is the birth, becomes excellent wit. The second property of your excellent sherris is the warming of the blood, which, before cold and settled, left the liver white and pale, which is the badge of pusillanimity and cowardice. The bartender drinks more than his patrons. The unnamed bartender of Patrick DeWitt's ablutions downs more shots than he serves, and you'll feel like you're sitting on a stool with a tumbler of cheap vodka listening to all the down and out regulars at this Hollywood watering hole. Drink to this, there are 10 in a circle and everyone wants to speak and no one cares what the other person presently speaking is talking about. Someone starts crying about having been molested as a child. Someone starts crying about a dead mother. Someone wants to go to Las Vegas. You slip out the side door and into your car. It is 5:30 in the morning and the sky is the color of a 3-day-old bruise. It is beautiful. Geoffrey Fermin, Consul of the Drink. Considered by many to be the alcoholic of literature, Geoffrey Fermin of Malcolm Lowry's Under the Volcano, known as the Consul, likes to start his morning with a stiff whiskey. Tequila and beer also make appearances. He's not a fun drunk, though see Stephen Selfox, mainly because everybody wants him to stop drinking, including the consul himself. Drink to this, Al. Unless you drink as I do, could you hope to understand the beauty of an old Indian woman playing dominoes with a chicken? Martha, Martha, Martha. Before Elizabeth Taylor forever nailed the role, Martha screamed from the pages of Edward Albee's play, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? The gin flows like a river while Martha castigates her husband George in front of dinner guests. Drink to this, I cry Al all the time, but deep inside, so no one can see me. And Georgie cries all the time, too. We take our tears, and we put 'em in the icebox, in the goddamn ice trays. And then we put them in our drinks. Jake Barnes, whining and dining in Barcelona. By the time Jake Barnes and his expat pals arrive in Barcelona from Paris, it's a non-stop. Hemingway, who could match his character's drink for drink, keeps the corks popping. Drink to this wine is too good for toast drinking, my dear. You don't want to mix emotions up with a wine like that. You lose the taste. Dixon's hangovers weren't so lucky. Kingsley Amis, father of Martin, was the among Britain's original angry young men of literature. Lucky Jim is his classic British satire about university life drenched in beer, good beer. Many scholars believe it has the best prose ever written about a hangover. Drink to this, Jim Dixon was alive again. Consciousness was upon him before he could get out of the way. During the night, too, he'd somehow been on a cross-country run, and then been expertly beaten up by secret police. He felt bad. Jack Torrance knows the truth about being on the wagon. Haunted, desolate resorts and recovering alcoholics don't mix well. Jack Torrance in Stephen King's The Shining tries to make the best of it, but when your kid has frightening psychic abilities, you're snowed in, well, you might act out, too. Drink to this, and that's when you realize what the wagon really is, Lloyd. It's a church with bars on the windows, a church for women, and a prison for you. Henry Chinaski can find any reason to drink. Henry Chinaski served as Charles Bukowski's alter ego in 5 of his novels, plus other short stories and poems. Like his creator, Chinaski liked his wine straight from the bottle. Drink to this from women. That's the problem with drinking, I thought as I poured myself a drink. If something bad happens, you drink in an attempt to forget. If something good happens, you drink in order to celebrate. And if nothing happens, you drink to make something happen. Nick and Nora Charles, happily Martini-ed. From Dashiell Hammett's 1934 novel, The Thin Man, this crime-solving couple drinks buckets of booze while on the job, yet never stagger or run out of rapid-fire quips. Drink to this, Nick. How about a drop of something to cut the phlegm? Nora, why don't you stay sober today, Nick? We didn't come to New York to stay sober. Moriarty hits the road and the bottle. Jazz, poetry, drinking, and drugs are all prevalent in Jack Kerouac's On the Road, and no one hits the bottle harder than Dean Moriarty, who was based on real-life Kerouac bestie Neil Cassidy. Drink to this. He drank in his saloon like the ghost of his father. He slopped down wine, beer, and whiskey like water. His face got red and sweaty, and he bellowed, and hollered at the bar and staggered across the dance floor where honky-tonkers of the West danced with girls and tried to play the piano. And he threw his arms around ex-cons and shouted with them in the uproar.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take